Hey, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at GreatMillStone who rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the hopeful elect. This is going to be a lesson on Babylon the Great is America. All right. Start off with this scripture here. All right. Psalm 137, and we're going to read verse 8. It says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Okay? So the daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, I mean, that's prophecy. You will be destroyed. It's talking about the daughter of Babylon, all right? So I'll read verse 9. It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. So that would be retribution. That's karma, because what? That's something that Christopher Columbus did to the natives, all right, and the conquistadors. That's something that they did to our people, all right, literally. But when you look up this word daughter, okay, in the Strong's, all right, it says, I'm just going to read the point. All right, daughter, Salakia. When you go down here, it says as personification. All right, then it even goes further to say description of character. So America is coming in that spirit of Babylon the Great. Now let's look up the word personification. All right, the attribution of a personal nature or human characteristics to something non-human, or the representation of an abstract quality in human form. A figure intended to represent an abstract quality. So it's not literal, it's spiritual, it's abstract. All right. So America represents Babylon because it got the same qualities. All right. It was Babylon was the golden head in the statue of Daniel. All right. Meaning it was what, at the very top. All right. It was a great and powerful empire, just like America, a great and powerful empire. But also, too, we're going to go into some other comparisons. All right. Let's jump to Isaiah 47. Read verse 1. That says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. All right. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right. So why did it say virgin daughter of Babylon? Because America has yet to be touched in the sense of war. What I mean by that is America hasn't been invaded. All right. See, America ain't never been invaded. That's why it's like it's the virgin daughter of Babylon. It ain't been touched yet. You know, it's been going around picking on everybody. It says, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. So it's the daughter of Babylon, and it's also the daughter of the Chaldeans. All right. It says, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Now let's look up Chaldeans. Look up the Chaldeans. Okay. Chaldeans. Okay. Is those persons considered the wisest in the land? All right. They were supposed to be the wise men. Okay. They was basically the upper echelon sorcerers. All right. Because the knowledge of the scripture says in the Apocrypha, the knowledge of wickedness is not prudence. All right. So yeah, these people had a high knowledge of wickedness, and that's what allowed them to rule. You know, shadows and the darkness. And America does that as well. All right. All them Illuminati meetings and those things of that nature get exposed. People be dressing up, having child sacrifices, and those is how they worshiping these demons. All right, to stay in power. All right, but we gonna get where I'm at. Let's look up something. All right, looked up the astrology, okay? Because also too, hold on. When you look up Chaldeans, it leads you into they was into the stars, they was into the astrology. We're gonna read this. All right. It says that's Western astrology. Okay. I'm gonna read this too. Western astrology is the system of astrology most popular in the Western countries. Western astrology is historically based on Ptolemy's Tetrabiblios, which in turn was a continuation of Hellenistic and ultimately Babylonian tradition. See, what was the Hellenistic period? That was around the time that the Greeks were Hellenizing our people, the Israelites. All right, and to be Hellenized is what you're an Israelite, but you're under Greek influence, speaking their language, participating in their customs. Okay, all right, which in turn was a continue, and those are the Edomites. The Greeks were the Edomites. All right, which is so-called white people. Okay, and ultimately Babylonian tradition. See, that's where it came. That's where it got its origins at. All right, so you so-called white people, you deal under Babylon. Look, the Hellenistic period, that was your Greeks. All right, and now then it trickled down to the Babylonian tradition. Let's go down. Western astrology is largely horoscopic. All right, the old horoscope, uh, Aries, Taurus, Capricorn, whatever. People be going to the gas station, reading the newspaper. Yeah, see what my horoscope say. Oh man, my day not gonna be so good. Oh, now that fucking done influenced your attitude. Some bull. It says it is a form of divination based on the construction of a horoscope for an exact moment, such as a person's birth, in which various cosmic bodies are said to have an influence. Astrology in Western. All right, that's enough on that. But I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go here. Astrology is the study of the movements and relative positions of celestial objects as a means of divining information about human affairs and terrestrial events. See, so basically about trying to prophesy based off the position of the stars and the moon and the planets. All right. It says predict what's gonna happen based off that. All right. It says astrology has been dated to at least the second millennium BCE and has its roots in calendrical systems used to predict seasonal shifts and to interpret celestial signs as celestial cycles as signs of divine communication. So, all right, many cultures have attached importance to astronomical events, and some, such as the Indians, Chinese, and Maya, developed elaborate systems for predicting terrestrial events from celestial observations. Western astrology, now let's deal with that. And that when they say Western astrology, or if they say the Western world, that's just a synonym for America. All right, American ideology or whatever, right? Say one of the oldest astrological systems still in use. They say one of the oldest. First of all, America, one of the newest countries. All right, yeah, it got one of the oldest astrological systems still in use. Why? Because it's the daughter of Babylon. It said it can trace its roots to 19th to 17th century BCE Mesopotamia. All right, Babylon. All right, from which it spread to ancient Greece, Rome, the Arab world, and eventually Central and Western Europe. Contemporary Western astrology is often associated with systems of horse. All right, and that's the point. All right, so America's Babylon. All right, it's coming in that stead of Babylon. It's coming in that spirit of Babylon. All right, let's get 65 in it. This is Psalm. Let me see. 65. Psalm chapter 65, verse 8. It says, they also that dwell in the utmost parts are afraid at thy tokens. Thou makest the outgoings of the morning and evening to rejoice. All right, and what's the tokens? The word token is basically, the token is basically a sign. Okay. It says, they that dwell in the utmost parts are afraid at thy tokens, right? Sign, signal, a distinguishing mark, a banner, a miraculous sign, an omen. All right, because what the Lord told us, the Lord told us he was going to have signs in heaven. All right. The Lord told us, look, he gave us the sun. He gave us the moon for a declaration of seasons. All right. And times. All right. And he also says what? He said in the end days, there would be signs in the sun and the moon would turn to blood. All right, so we're not dismayed at those things, all right, because the Lord already told us they was gonna happen. But that is a big part of of uh of America to be into astrology, because they know that those elites know that our salvation gonna come from outer space. Why you think they're trying to which is the chariots of the Lord, what they call UFOs. Why do you think they're talking about a space force? Why do you think they're so infatuated with space? All right. Why do you think that George the first Bush did that little speech, that inauguration, saying, "What if all these nations would have to put our differences aside and fight a force from outer space?" All right, roughly paraphrasing. But let me go back to Psalm. No. I'm gonna jump to Jeremiah 10. Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, verse 1 says, "Hear ye the word of Yahweh by Shem Shai." So like you hear ye the word which Yahweh by Shem Shai speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. So don't be looking up that horoscope shit. All right, we just clearly read that that's the way of the heathen, man. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Now let's look at dismayed. Okay, dismayed. Kathath. All right. To be shattered, be dismayed, be broken, be abolished, be afraid. So we ain't supposed to be afraid. All right. Or terrified at the signs of heaven, because we know what they represent. All right. But what did it say? It say the heathen are dismayed at them because they know what it represents too. All right. It represents their downfall, their destruction. All right. When the Lord, come back with salvation through those UFOs, which they're so-called UFOs, which are the chariots. All right. The chariots of Israel. Let me in fact, let me get a UFO scripture. All right. Let me see. Let me get Psalm 17 to prove that. Salakia, let me see. About heavens. Salakia, let me get my Bible. Sometimes it's easier to find scriptures like that. Let me see Psalm, because King David was delivered in the midst of battle in the UFO. It's in the Psalms. All right, it might be Psalm. I thought it was Psalm 17. Okay. It might be 18. Right. Okay. It's 18. Let me see. Psalm 18. All right, this is Psalm 18 and 6. It says, "In my distress I called upon Yahweh and cried unto my power. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled." Okay. The foundations also, the hills moved and were shaken because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. So let's look up what they got for. Oh, I spelled bowed wrong. Bowed the heavens. Okay. Bowed. All right. It says to stretch out, extend, spread out, pitch, turn, pervert, incline, bend. All right. Coming down, descending. So yeah, he came from the heavens. All right. The spaceship. Okay. How do I go? I just gotta press back. Right. So it descended. All right. The heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. Why was darkness under his feet? Because you see the movies, the huge shadow that the UFOs, so-called UFOs, cast, man. All right. It says, and he rode upon a cherub and did fly. Yeah, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. Let's see what they got for cherub. Cherub. Karabah. Cherub, an angelic being, because the UFOs are operated by the angels, right? They're the vehicles of the angels. Look, it says a chariot of Jehovah. It should say of Yahweh. And what's a chariot? A chariot. Chariot is a vehicle. It's just a vehicle, but this particular one is a heavenly vehicle. All right, and those are the so-called UFOs. All right. Let's see what else they got. Okay, boom, that's enough on that. All right, so it says, and he rode upon the cherub and did fly. Yeah, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Yeah, he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomfited them. Yeah, so like the way you watch the so-called the movies with the spaceships and the way they shoot out those beams of laser, etc. This is that description right there. It says, then the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. Verse 16, he sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. So the same way that in this particular passage, the chariot of the Lord, the so-called UFO, it came and it destroyed the heathens. It also it delivered King David, the Israelite. All right, which is going to happen again. Because look, this is Habakkuk. It's like Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. See, they went right to it. Habakkuk 3 and 1. It says, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet of Shigionoth. O Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Yahweh, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. See, and he gonna do that in his wrath when he came and he was we just read scripture, the thunderbolts and the fires of coals. Those is instruments of death. He was killing his enemies. But he gonna remember mercy too, because he gonna deliver his elect like he delivered King David. It says the Most High came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding in his power. Before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. All right. You can kind of read all of this, but let me see. I'm gonna jump to verse 8. It says, was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? Because those chariots, as they're gonna be blasting and destroying things, it's gonna look like the Lord mad at nature, because nature gonna get it too. All right. When those blasts hit different naval bases and things of that nature in the ocean's gonna be raging. All right. And the heathen The upper elite heathens, they know that. All right. Let me see. Get this scripture here, and then we're gonna go back to what's that? Isaiah. Come on, man. Come on, man. So like, let me see. This is Zechariah the 5th chapter, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Let me look that word up in Hebrew. A roll. A roll, a book, a writing, a volume. A volume, a book rolled together, as was the ancient custom. So this is another description of a chariot, all right, of a so-called UFO, all right. This is we looked up the definition of personification, all right. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stilleth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that swears shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. Right. So yeah, we just read Habakkuk. Was thy wrath against the seas? Was thy wrath against the mountains, the rivers? Roughly paraphrasing, because those chariots gonna participate in destroying the whole earth, man. All right, that's the and those heathens know that, because we're gonna jump back to Isaiah 47. We'll jump to let me see. I think the point is that I'm gonna jump to 13 and then I'm gonna go back. It says, "Thou art where?" No, 12. It says, "Stand now with thine enchantments." See. Talking about you elites, you wicked, evil elites. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. All the way in the conception of America, right? Even going back to Adam Weishaupt with the Illuminati, trying to start them up and all of that. All right? And who knows how much further back. So, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. But dealing with America, because America been in sorcery and witchcraft since its beginning. Even when you look at what's it called, the Washington Monument. At the time the Washington Monument was built, it was the tallest structure in the world at that time, and it's 555 feet, and that's supposed to represent some type of numerology or some shit. And Washington D.C., the way it's pattern laid out in the shape of a pentagram, all right, and that was built hundreds of years ago, all right. So since its youth, America been in sorcery. All right. It says, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail, because that's why you prevailed. That's why the scripture's telling you to stand now. See, now you ain't prevailing no more, because the Lord, he's taking the rulership from you now. All right. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. All right. See, that's the point. America is Babylon the Great, and they're Babylon the Great, and these are different ways that proves they're Babylon the Great. All right. Let me see. But with that, the point was made. You know, the name of the title of the lesson, America is Babylon the Great. The whole objective was to go into how the astrology and the sorcery aspect of America, you know, where they get it from. And we read that it got its origins in what? It goes all the way back to what? The Hellenistic period, and that goes all the way back to the Babylonian period. All right, Western astrology, we read, got the oldest form of got the oldest origins and where it come from, the area of Mesopotamia. So with that, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the hopeful elect. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Shalom.